All right, so it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and want to welcome you to our online health summit. And my name's Scott Schmitz. We have a special guest, Adam Ringham, and he's going to talk in about 10 minutes. I'll kind of introduce Adam in a few minutes, but I wanted to go over a couple of cool things here. And first, I am going to share a quick video with everybody so that we can get started this way. All right, so here we go.
The natural health community is buzzing about humic and fulvic acid for leaky gut syndrome. What's all the buzz about? Leaky gut syndrome is once poo-pooed by doctors, but recently is getting all kinds of attention as perhaps it is the open door leading to diagnosis of chronic disease. So what is it? Lining the inside of the bowel is a barrier between the gut and the bloodstream. This barrier is only one cell thick. This barrier allows for nutrients to go in, but keeps germs, toxins, and undigested food particles out of the bloodstream. It is made of special cells that are held together by tight junction proteins. But things like gluten, herbicides, aspirin, anti-inflammatories, processed foods, and glyphosate loosen these tight junction proteins, leaving leaks in the membrane for them to pass through into the bloodstream. Many believe this to be the root problem for such things as food allergies, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, autoimmune disorders, mood changes, memory issues, and many, many more. Now for the really big news, humic and fulvic acid, natural organic compounds found in the soil that help protect the gut membrane. Recent studies indicate they help to bind some of the chemicals causing damage and actually tighten up those loose junctions again, restoring integrity to the barrier. This is where Black Oxygen Organics fulvic and humic acid comes in. You can use these super minerals to get all the nutrients that your body needs to repair at the cellular level. Find out more at www.shopblackoxygen/lifefromtheearth.com today.
All right, so type in chat. I just want to make sure everybody is able to hear that, right? So the reason why I played that video is because I'm going to put this link in the chat right now, because that's my little, that's about pretty much all I'm going to talk about. It was specifically black oxygen. But what more specifically I want to get into is what this article talks about is the mitochondria of your DNA, of your cells. I'm sorry. You can go read this article in full. But what people, I'm hearing people all over saying, I'm trying this, I'm trying that, it's doing this, it's doing that. Everybody is missing the boat. And here's the reason why. In order for your cells to absorb anything, any vitamin, any mineral, any sugar, anything like that, it first of all has to cross that one cell epithelial layer in your gut into your bloodstream. But once it's in your bloodstream, it's not in your cells. Your bloodstream, it's worthless in your blood. Your blood is just a carrier mechanism to your cells. Your cells are what do all the work. And it's the mitochondria. It's the mitochondria. You know, when politicians campaign, they say, it's the economy, stupid. Well, here, it's the mitochondria. I'm not going to call people stupid, but it's the mitochondria that do everything. You can read this article. There's some interesting things here. Let's see here. 90% of your energy is produced in your mitochondria. Okay? You can go through here. This talks about all kinds of your mitochondrial actions and issues. Okay? There are 5 main causes for damage or loss. Interesting. Fulvic and humic acids and minerals work on all 5. Viruses, parasites, heavy metals, medications, and oxidative stress. Now, the one thing that I want to harp on and I will always talk about is how in order for your mitochondria to do their work, they have to be electrified. What electrifies mitochondria more than anything else? Carbon-based electrolytes. Yes, you can get salt-based electrolytes, but they are not going to do what a carbon-based electrolyte will do, because a carbon-based electrolyte, we are carbon. Therefore, it is easier to absorb. Plus, carbon-based electrolytes pass the blood-brain barrier. So I get people asking me all the time, why are fulvic and humic minerals, more specifically black oxygen, so great? Well, because this specific one is a carbon-based bioorganic substance. It's not a root, or it's not a rock like shilgite or things like that. So therefore, it's easily accessible by your body to then absorb it, to get it into the bloodstream, but more importantly, to get it into the cells. That's the reason why that we're seeing so much success. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. I will never claim that anything of black oxygen organics will heal anything. I can only share my story and what it's done for me, because obviously we want to make sure that we don't make false claims out there. But any reasonable human being out there can deduce by reading things and understanding how cellular level electricity works that this is a vital role. I mean, these are just minerals, people, that everybody 100 years ago used to get. Nowadays, we're not getting them. That's why we're seeing so many issues in our health, okay? Pure water is also a big deal. You know, we talk about how the black oxygen fulvic will electrify your water. That's why you got to drink it within the first 30 minutes. This article here sums up, I'd probably say 80% of illness out there. You know, because issues like certain issues just, yeah, fulvic and humic, they're not going to help. But this, because this is a cellular level thing, we're talking about DNA and mitochondria. When we focus on fixing at the ground zero, patient zero, the foundation of your house level, everything else is built on top of that. All right. So with that, I would like to introduce our special guest today. Some of you may not know him. Some of you may know him. His name is Adam Ringham. Adam is an amazing human. Without Adam, I probably still would not have healed my leaky gut, and I would not have healed my hemorrhoids. And I was searching. The universe put Adam in my way for many reasons, but one is just the fact that he threw me some black oxygen organics. It sat on my counter for 3 months. I didn't do anything with it because I was so frustrated with all those fulvics on the market that I was taking, spending $400 to $500 a month, and I wasn't seeing results. I'm like, yeah, this is crap. I saw him again. He's like, dude, have you been taking it? And I'm like, no. He goes, you got to try it. So I tried it again. And in 2 weeks, I healed my hemorrhoids. And in a month, my leaky gut was gone. I will be eternally indebted to Adam for the rest of my life for that. So it's my goal now to pay it forward to other people in the world to help them if I can at all. Adam has helped thousands of people with his knowledge. And he is a wealth of information. So I am going to turn this order over to Adam Ringham now, and I'm going to stop the screen share. So Adam, unmute yourself, dude, and do what you want to do.
All right. Well, it's part of the better parts or greatest parts of working with this is that you can do it from anywhere. So I'm chasing the kids around here at the pool, which is super nice. But I love, focusing, more so on your topic that you're talking about, a mitochondria. Of you hit the nail on the head of what the most important topic of all this is. The leaky gut that you're talking about too. Also, probably the second most important thing underneath mitochondria, that 95% of Americans and probably 90% of the world has leaky gut to some extent because we've destroyed, as we mirror, when we destroy our soils, that's the digestion of the earth. And we've destroyed the earth's digestive system and in turn destroyed our own. So myself included, it's the whole reason I got started on black oxygen. I was an alcoholic for a decade. I drank so much beer and I literally drank a gallon of Diet Coke a day. And I would drink 2 pots of coffee a day. on top of all the beer. So the candidas and yeasts and biofilms and parasites. I ate a pound of gummy worms a day. Like I was a 300-pound massive alcoholic. So I know what it was like to destroy myself. Well, I lost a bunch of the weight and I got a bunch of the metals out and everything else, the TRS. But there was still the problem of the candida and the leaky gut. And that's where the black oxygen came in, that I used about a double dose for about a month. And at the end of a month, all of a sudden I was sitting there one day and I'm like, oh man, we got to go use number 2 of like, so, and this, I could feel it in my digestive tract, like down between, I think it's my ileum, right between my large intestine and small intestine. There was just this giant blockage. Like I could feel the lump basically that was sitting there, that I could, meditate, and I'm very in touch with my body. So I could feel this blockage. I could never get it to move. I'm like, what do I do? So on the black oxygen, a month later, all of a sudden I could feel that area start pulsing. And I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen. So I got to go take care of this. And it was foul, don't get me wrong. But that whole area just voided out. And it's just been gone ever since. And so like the food sensitivities, I've never really had food sensitivities, but I just noticed that I can eat whatever I want for the most part. I eat all organic and I avoid wheat, and, probably 95% of my diet is really close. Like when I came to visit you guys, I went to just go get like green juices from the store. I'm like, I don't really want to go out to eat. I want to go get green juices. So anyway, so it cost me $100 to take care of my leaky gut, in about a month. And it wasn't hard because I'd done the whole thing before of like, hey, follow this diet to heal your leaky gut, take all these supplements. And I'll tell you what, I did that. I've done that literally for months, where it is the biggest pain in your rear end, where you have to watch every single food you eat for weeks and months at a time. And if you slip up once, you've undone everything and have to start it all over. And so when black oxygen came along, I'm like, okay, I've used Sheila Jeets and I've hunted around for years looking for a good fulvic humic acid. Never found one, because Sheila Jeets are chemically extracted, mechanically, they taste terrible. They don't come with the humic acid. They just don't have the fulvic acid intact. I mean, so they were okay. I liked them, but they cost me a fortune. And then, buying the other stuff, like you said online, I'm paying for water for the most part of it. So they don't put, hardly anything in the dang stuff. So this black oxygen came along. I tried it within like 2 days. I'm like, this is the best stuff I've ever tried. So digestion for me within a month, it was just all the biofilms and all the nastiness and the yeast and candida that just cleared out of me painlessly. It wasn't even hard. I didn't even have to pay that much attention to what I was eating. It was just, eat kind of clean. You don't have to be a complete Nazi, and then just let the black oxygen do its work. So for the $100, poof, it was that easy for me. My energy levels were off the charts too. I mean, they're still fantastic. So that's great. But since you're talking on mitochondria, this is a point that you covered the leaky gut really well. And your video is fantastic on that. And you'll be able to help people for, who want to talk about the leaky gut, because it's super easy. Just use black oxygen. One of the biggest things that you touched on that I want to expound upon is the mitochondrial health. And so, mitochondria, we're sitting here slinging this word around all the time. To put it in the most simple analogy for everybody, the mitochondria are the power plants of your cell. That if you don't have power, just like if I were to go cut the power to your house, how much are you going to get done? Nothing. You're not getting anything done. So these mitochondria, they're the power plants. They're the things that make the energy so your body gets the work done. The other thing too is the electrolyte content we talked about these carbon-based electrolytes for the mitochondria and for the body. Pure water does not conduct electricity. There's no electrolytes. Doesn't matter how much power your mitochondria are generating, they can't send the power anywhere. So it's kind of like these electrolytes. The black oxygen is both the fuel for your power plant, and it's the wires that transmit the electricity around the body. So not a whole lot of people know this, but the human being, especially as its consciousness raises in frequency and vibration, you're cold fusion generators. When you're stuck with mitochondria damage, you're stuck as a coal burning power plant, for lack of a better way to put it. When you start taking this fulvic humic acid and get your mitochondria functioning, you literally are cold fusion generators. Scientists took and found that properly functioning mitochondria, and they didn't even do this with black oxygen, so I would love to repeat it, but they took nanosensors and put them inside of the mitochondria. And in this, they found that the voltages of mitochondria were 10 times higher than lightning bolts. 10 times. We're now talking like dusty plasma physics and biological transmutation of elements. When you hit voltages that high, 10 times higher than lightning bolts, the most incredible things start happening. So when people start saying, hey, I had all these other different things start happening to me, which if you read any of the testimonies go around, like they're coming out really quickly. It's because when your voltages hit that level like they're supposed to, unbelievable things happen that quite literally shatter reality, because you are a walking cold fusion generator. That's what your cells are, and that's what your mitochondria are. That's how high these voltages go, and that's the whole point of it. And so the Kabbalistic principle, and Kabbalistic is just, I enjoy the wisdom of it. It predates Judaism and Christianity, and basically they just teach the principle that very much Christianity do, that there's the light and there's the vessel. God Ha'or, God is Ha'or, or the light, and Yehi Or, right in the first basically couple of verses of Genesis, let there be light, Yehi Or. The light is already there, and it's our job, it's our desire to connect to it. But there's also the vessel. There's the light in the vessel, the as above, so below, and we are those vessels. And if our physical vessel can't contain and work with that much light energy, we just short out. So that's why this is so important, is we have a physical body that our souls house. That's our body, and that's what's made of these physical elements that come from the earth, with a dust animated, giving voltages 10 times higher than lightning bolt and giving breath. That's what this black oxygen is it's the very building blocks that God created our entire body from, that it's the very source of our existence on this three-dimensional planet. And if we don't have these building blocks, it's kind of like, the creator created this masterpiece that he requires X amount of building blocks for in order to sustain and reach this divine blueprint. But just like you, if you're short of building supplies on your house, you have to start cutting corners. Your blueprint, you can't fulfill the masterpiece that you've got the blueprint laid out for. Is the exact same with our bodies. God gave us this divine blueprint and template that are unbelievable bodies of, the dirt itself being animated and given breath. The voltage is 10 times higher than lightning bolts. If we're cutting corners because we don't have the building supplies to create and sustain this physical vessel that our soul houses, there's a whole level of suffering that comes from that, of the soul not being able to be here appropriately, of the pain that happens, of the inability to even manifest your physical reality and interact with it the way that you were designed to at that level of consciousness. So this black oxygen encompasses so many things. And it's amazing because people use 20 to 50 cents of it a day. If you're just taking it internally, they're like, I'm just spending $50 a day, and it's changing my whole life, because it supercharges the rate at which you will absorb your nutrients as well. So this means you can, after a short amount of time, start slashing all the other supplements that you've been using by 80% or more. You get a month into it using it, your body starts catching up, because vitamins without the minerals are useless. You can't use any vitamins if you don't have the minerals to make it work. You can use minerals without vitamins, but you can't use vitamins without minerals. So as you be on this for, about a month, or somebody who's been really sick, it may take closer to 2 months. But, come that 30 days time frame for average for most people, you can start slashing the number of supplements you need, because you're actually absorbing everything. You're getting the nutrients from the food you eat. It's not just leaking into your gut or flying out of you, or the parasites are eating it all up. It's incredible. So in the long run, you're spending 20 to 50 cents a day. Now all of a sudden you're saving 5, 10. I mean, God, I know people that even save $50 a day in the amount of junk that they were having to take. I've had some people just call and tell me I'm literally saving thousands of dollars from supplements, from 50 different pills I have to take a day, from all the meetings and everything I'm spending on all this. They're like, I spend 50 cents and I save myself thousands, not to mention I can get out of bed. I can play with my children. I can eat the food that I want. I can just have the energy to live my life and do the things that I was meant to do. It's incredible. So I don't want to make it any longer than that. Let's just stop there, because I think that's a perfect little stopping point to say we encompass so many things with just, an eighth to a quarter teaspoon once or twice a day of this black stuff that costs you 20 to 50 cents. That is a way, all these other people talk about, it's this MLM supplement. You can do it for like $3 a day, or the price of a cup of coffee. I'm like, I can do it for 20 cents, 2 dimes. If you were to walk by 2 dimes on the street, would you bend down and even pick them up? Probably not. You'd be like, there's 2 dimes. I don't have time to stop for it. So the 20 cents to get started per day, and what it could do for you and save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars a month, that potential is there, but it's up to you. You've got to have that desire to want to change and want to do it. And that's the point. Greatest part too, if you don't like it, get your money back. It's that easy. Like, so it's not like you're risking anything. The worst that happens is you say, well, okay, I didn't like it, but get your money back. Cool. No one's mad, but the company itself has under a 0.05% return rate because nobody returns it because it works so well for so many people. I have not gotten one message. I've had one message from one person out of tens of thousands of people that have said, hey, I really didn't like this stuff. It wasn't for me. Granted, this person doesn't really try real hard in any aspects of their life, but I get hundreds of messages of people telling me, this has changed my life in ways I don't even know how to describe. So I'll tell you what, that's a pretty great ratio. And then, like I said, risk-free. If you don't like it, just take your money back. But I'm not worried about it because I pretty much know you're not gonna. So, but it's there just in case if you need that reassurance. So Scott, thanks for taking the time to have me. And hopefully I didn't get too long-winded or talk on too many topics.
You could talk all day and I'd listen to you, man. I just appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come here. Cause I, like you, I used to drink Red Bull and that's what ruined my gut. I can pretty much pinpoint it back to that, even though it was sugar-free, but dude, I'm 39 years old now. Yeah, I'm a little bit overweight just cause I got a sedentary lifestyle. I, like you, I like to say I'm the lazy guy's health advocate. Because of this now, I have more energy than when I was playing college football at 20 years old right now.
Yeah, it's the level of things that I can do, even versus 15 years ago, way more, unbelievable more. And then not only just the physical aspect, but the mental aspect of the rate at which I can process information because I have these voltages to be able to run this much energy in my brain. The mental capacity that I have doing this compared to what I did 15 years ago is out of this world. And the thing is it builds up over time the longer that you're on it. The benefits keep stacking on each other, that your physical body gets healthier and healthier and healthier, and your mental clarity picks up faster and faster and faster to where it compounds. You get out when you've got that energy back. Now you're like, I'm going to start learning new things. I'm going to start doing new things. I'm going to go take on the world and make it my plaything.
Yeah, it's almost like we're biohacking, even though we're not. We're just doing what they did 100 years ago by eating.
Yeah, this puts most biohackers to shame. Like I go to their conventions and I listen to their stuff online and I understand everything they're doing. This puts them to shame because they'll sit here and deal with like CoQ10 and all these other biohacking products. And the problem is, number one, it's extremely energy intensive to learn all this stuff. And number two, it costs a fortune. And you don't even get a fraction of the benefits that these other idiots are like. They're devoting, hundreds of hours of their life to per month. And it's not doing a fraction of what you could do in 15 seconds in a day. It's amazing.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, people say, oh, you got the one-trick pony. And I'm like, this one-trick pony, there's about 725 trillion, I think, cells in your body. So that's a lot of one-trick ponies that this thing's dealing with.
Yeah, it's just like on your chessboard. On your chessboard, you got one piece that does everything. It's called the queen. That's literally, this is the queen of the earth. The queen of the universe is the earth. It's the feminine, that embodiment principle. It's beautiful. So we got our queen. That's checkmate.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So if anybody has any questions, we got Adam for probably another 7 minutes till the bottom of the hour. Go ahead and ask yourself to unmute in chat. I'll open this up. And if there aren't any questions, I'll give it a couple minutes here. Obviously you all found this meeting either through Facebook or email or something like that. Okay, I'll preface this with saying Adam is a wealth of knowledge. Okay. He's also a very busy individual. Everything that Adam said, he has taught to me. And Adam, he seriously deals with tens of thousands of people on a monthly basis. If you have questions, you can go find him online. Let's be respectful of his time. You can ask me because he's taught me everything well, not everything. He's taught me what I need to know. So I'm able to then be a duplication of him to help you. So because I want to be respectful of his time with that. But the other thing is, it doesn't look like anybody's having any questions, which is completely cool. If anybody, so you can Facebook message me if you want to learn more about the product. I can show you how to get your 10% off discount. The last thing I want to say is, so we do, there are some potential customers on this call who want more information. There's also some brand partners. I want to let everybody know that we got a question from Pete. Pete asked, does this help with psoriasis, Adam?
Yep, this can absolutely help support healthy skin because the psoriasis originates 99% of the time in the gut health. And so when you clean up the gut health, all of the skin, because the skin is your biggest organ, it's basically a reflection of what's happening inside, like internally of you. So we have a whole ton of people that their skin, the second they start, within a short time frame after they start taking this internally, their external skin starts getting better. And you can also take the black oxygen and just mix it into a paste and apply it to your skin just as a paste and let it sit there for 20, 30 minutes, wash it off. You can do it in a bathtub as well. Same thing. But I mean, even after a short amount of time, you can notice some really, really, really big differences with this.
Gotcha. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. I'm going to put a video that I made to show you how you can actually get $10 off by becoming on auto ship for Black Oxygen Organics. We got another question from Mary. She wants you to expound upon enemas, nasal washes, and things like that. Do you have any testimonials?
All right. Enemas, douches, nasal washes. Nasal washes is you're going to want to probably do about 1/32 of a teaspoon to about 8 ounces of water or less, because this stuff is super powerful. If you're going to do a nasal wash, use a teeny amount. And that's the best part about this is because you use a tiny amount. When you do it, you don't spend a lot of money. So you can do literally thousands of nasal washes if you wanted to. When it comes to douches, same thing. 1/32 of a teaspoon is plenty. You don't have to use a whole lot. And then when it comes to enemas, you could go up to as much as 1/8 of a teaspoon, but I'd probably say stay closer to a 1/16 of a teaspoon, just because it's so powerful. You don't need to use much, so you don't spend a bunch of money. It saves a fortune.
Yeah, and that's crazy. So like when I first attacked my leaky gut and my hemorrhoids, I did like you. I double dosed it. So I used the bag in like a couple of weeks because I hammered it. But since then, I even can personally taper it off to like 1/4 of a teaspoon, and I'm still fine. So it's like when you have to go through these issues, yeah, you got to ramp it up. But then once you get homeostasis, you can bring it back down. So your maintenance level is like that of an oil change. An oil change on a car is what, 30, 40 bucks? But a new transmission, your engine is thousands. So once you get there, it's pretty good.
How long have I been taking it? I've actually been using the product for over 1.5 years. I started back with the very original of the company, and I just got really busy and didn't really share it or talk about it or anything. And all of a sudden, the good Lord came down and said, hey, it's time to do something with this because people need this. So I've been on it 1.5 years. And my first 30 days, I didn't have any detox symptoms. I, however, have worked with a lot of natural health products and stuff, and I didn't have autoimmune issues. I usually tell everybody too, when you start off with, don't start off with a double dose. Start really small of about 1/8 a teaspoon once a day, just to see how it goes for you. If you're experienced with your natural health stuff and you're already pretty good and you don't really have any real big issues besides you want to approach leaky gut or a hemorrhoid, which aren't really like, big issues. They're just like, okay, I got something I want to work on. Then you can do more. I mean, you can always ramp it up. But for anyone starting, I say start at just like 1/8 of a teaspoon once to twice a day. And you can work up from there, because if you've got autoimmune issues or if you've got underlying viral issues or mycoplasmas or prions or anything, it's going to move you through that really fast, because this stuff is liquid rocket fuel for the immune system. So when you take this, your immune system functions really, really, really well again. And so if you've got a viral load or a mycoplasmic load bogging you down a little bit, all of a sudden having the immune system go, may not be the best thing in the world. So start really slow. You got a horse with a pituitary disorder, the horse could do probably around 1/2 teaspoon once to twice a day would be the appropriate amount to use for the horses, just because they're really big. So, 1/2 teaspoon once or twice a day is going to be probably right about the sweet spot for the equines.
Yeah, I've also been putting this in my garden because it's just, I got to get my minerals, of the soil back up. So, all right, well, it's coming up on the bottom of the hour here, and so we'll get going here. I want to let everybody know anybody who are brand partners that I'm working with personally, check your email, because I'm going to start doing a weekly Zoom call just for brand partners on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. And you can plug into that. Adam has a ginormous team So that may not apply to you if you're on this call. So you have to look through your email for that invite. But other than that, you know, I really want to say thank you, Adam, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to help me. Well, first of all, you helped me by just giving me the product, just by being a gracious person. But more important that you know, to teach me how I didn't realize how many sick people were out there. Okay. I own businesses where I sit in my office all day long. I work in the mortgage world. I play with money. Okay. And quite frankly, I just don't get out there. And working with this, I have been exposed to, I did not know how many people are this ill. And, you know, it's my life's goal to get this product exposed to everybody. And I know that sounds stupid, but the only way we're going to change this planet, make it better, is if we all first fix ourselves so we have enough energy and enough money to then go out and help other people. And I can thank you specifically for that, because until I met you, I did not have that attitude anymore. I was just going to be like, I'm just going to make a lot of money for my family. We're going to travel the world. So I'm really gracious and I'll be eternally grateful for you, Adam. So with
Scott,
that,
thank you.
any closing words?
Yeah, thank you for your organization skills and everything that you do on your end. It's been so fantastic. This is just a lot of fun to be able to do this stuff. So thank you everybody who tuned in too. It was a blast. I got to go. My little guy's yelling for me to come swimming, but thank you guys bottom of my heart for just being here. And Scott, you're just an awesome guy. So it's just been a giant pleasure to work with you, and I can't wait to do it even more.
All right, great. Till the next time, hopefully we can do this maybe once a month in the future, but adios, everybody. This is where Black Oxygen Organics Fulvic and Humic acid comes in. You can use these super minerals to get all the nutrients that your body needs to repair at the cellular level. Find out more at www.shopblackoxygen/lifefromtheearth.com today.